You're in the final round. At this point, they already believe you have the technical skills to do the job. Now, they're trying to answer a much bigger, more important question. Do we actually want to work with you? The answer to that question is found in the behavioral interview. In this lesson, we are shifting gears from what you know to who you are. I'm going to arm you with 2 unbreakable frameworks for the soft skill interviews that often decide who gets the final offer. We'll cover the world-famous STAR method for talking about your past experiences, and a powerful 5-step framework for handling any hypothetical "what would you do if" scenario they throw your way. First, let's talk about behavioral questions. They almost always start with, "Tell me about a time when..." The idea is that your past performance is the best predictor of your future behavior. Your framework for these questions is non-negotiable. It's the STAR method. Let's break it down with a classic, tough question. Tell me about a time you had a disagreement with a team member. S. Situation. First, set the scene. In my previous project, a developer closed a bug I filed related to a data corruption issue, marking it as "will not fix." T. Task. What was your goal? My responsibility was to ensure the quality of the feature, and I believed this was a high-risk bug for our users, even if it was an edge case. A. Action. This is the most important part. What did you specifically do? Use I statements. First, I didn't argue in the bug tracker. I went and spoke to the developer directly to understand their perspective. They explained it was a rare case and a difficult fix. I acknowledged their point, but then I showed them the logs demonstrating the downstream impact on user data. I reframed it from a technical problem to a user trust problem. R. Result. What was the outcome? Once the developer saw the full user impact, we were able to collaborate. We agreed to raise the priority, and together, we worked out a simpler, short-term fix to mitigate the immediate risk, with a plan to address the root cause in the next sprint. It turned a conflict into a collaborative win and strengthened our working relationship. Next up are situational questions. These are hypotheticals that start with, "What would you do if?" They're designed to test your judgment and your problem-solving process under pressure. You can't use a past story, so you need a logical framework. Let's use a high-stakes scenario. What would you do if you found a critical bug hours before a major release and developers were pushing back on fixing it? Here's how a top candidate handles this. Step 1. Clarify. You never jump to an answer. You gather data. My first step would be to clarify the business impact. How many users would this bug affect? What's the exact risk to data or revenue? Step 2. Identify core problems. State the issues clearly. Okay, so we have 2 core problems: a high-risk bug that threatens the user experience and a release deadline that is critical for the business. Step 3. Identify options. Show you can think strategically. We have a few options. We could delay the release to fix it properly. We could release on time with the known bug. Or we could see if there's a way to release on time but mitigate the risk, maybe by disabling the specific feature. Step 4. State your action. Make a decision and justify it. Based on the risk to our users, I would strongly recommend against a full release with this known critical bug. My immediate action would be to present the data on the bug's impact to the product manager and lead developer, and formally recommend we pursue the mitigation strategy, release on time, but with the new feature disabled via a feature flag. Step 5. Discuss outcomes. Close the loop. The expected outcome is that we meet the business deadline while protecting our customers from a major issue. My follow-up would be to ensure a hotfix is prioritized for the next day. So let's recap your 2 power frameworks for this interview. When they ask about your past, tell me about a time. You used the STAR method to tell a compelling story. When they ask about the future, what would you do if? You use the 5-step framework to show your judgment. Master these, and you mastered the behavioral interview. Time to put this into practice. Your homework is to prepare a star story for this question. Tell me about a time you had to learn a new skill quickly. In the comments below, just share the R, the positive result of your effort. You've got the tools to demonstrate your experience and your judgment. Now, it's time for the final boss of the interview loop, the conversation with the hiring manager. In our next lesson, I'll show you how to prove you're the perfect person for their team. I'll see you there.